They had a plan. But he had a plan of his own.
This is the turning point in human civilization.
It's a grand sounding name, the Truth Party. What's the idea? What's the philosophy behind it?
That's why they say, permit me to issue a country's currency and I don't care who makes its laws. If you're the guy with the printer, you're the decider.
The philosophy is that there's no reason why our politicians and our political leaders can't tell us the truth all the time about everything, and have the media also investigate thoroughly all the truth whenever the politicians are keeping something from us.
The banks are going to come to you for another bailout. Now in the United States, when they got the bailout, because they borrow the money off of a private Federal Reserve bank to bail out the banks, picture this scenario. The first bailout, we're going to have to give $700 billion to the banks to bail them out. So the banks print the money, $700 billion. And they just divvy it up amongst themselves because that's who the bailout was for. But the government now has to pay back that loan. So it's $700 billion plus whatever. You got nothing for that, other than saving a bunch of banks so they could buy some more banks. You gave them $700 billion in the first place to bail them out. Now you're going to repay them $700 billion for the loan that you took. That's some gangster shit right there. I don't know how to describe it other than that. You're paying them twice and getting nothing. Where's the anti-war voice in the age of Obama? Were people really against the war, or did they just hate Bush that much that now that it's someone else commanding the tanks and the missiles and the Predator drones, it's okay?
Oliver Stone. Jesse the Body Ventura. Woody Harrelson. An Academy Award winner, Sean Penn. Ralph Nader.
I mean, 100 years ago, you walked into a bar in Brooklyn, and you ask anyone who's running this country, they'll tell you, J.P. Morgan.
We get told what happens, and we believe what we're told because those who tell us have credibility. Nobody saw a plane hit the Pentagon. Nobody. Never happened. We were told that they did it, and we believe what we were told. That's it.
Moral courage, on the other hand, has a much greater vulnerability. It lasts longer. It's easier to retaliate against. And it's easier to smear. But moral courage is what we need. If we're going to address the problems of our neighborhood, our community, our city, our state, our country, and our world. Because when the few decide for the many, and when concentrated power is held in the hands of fewer and fewer giant corporations that control more and more of our elections and our government and our economic future, that have no more allegiance to the United States and its people other than to control it.
Because what you're talking about is a completely a different economic and political system.
We expect the Truth Party to talk about 9/11, say it's an inside job. We're going to say, of course it's an inside job. Instead of running around and making videos and telling everybody as if spreading the word's going to matter, it's time to come up with a plan to just replace these people who have pulled off these attacks and covered it up with fiction through their media.
Look at Greece and say, well, they retire too early, or they spent too much money on social programs, or socialism. It's nonsense. They can't get out of debt, just like the United States can't get out of debt, and Canada can't get out of debt. No country can unless you replace the governments, bring in an entirely new economic system, and cancel and delete the debts. Everyone starts from scratch.
These men are actors. They have no allegiance to you as a people. I don't even think tracking chips are necessarily the worst idea. I think we should probably put our RFID chips in all of our politicians, so that when they're meeting in secret, we can go online and see 100 red dots in one hotel with a bunch of bankers and business leaders and say, what's this all about? Because your media is not going to tell you. Let's be honest. The military is going to do whatever it wants. You're not going to stop them. Not if you keep voting for Republicans and Democrats and going back and forth between these two parties that are both owned by the same entities that control the military apparatus. That's how they're able to stage false flag terror attacks. That's how they're able to stage underwear bombers. And I don't even want to spend any time looking at these stories anymore. That's what the media was supposed to do. We're trying to set up a system that we're told we already have, where the people get all the information and then make a decision on what they want to do.